One of the really hard things I found at the beginning was I hoped Claude would be mild, and nobody could tell me at the beginning where he was going to be. You know, there's an awful lot of unknown, and so maybe it's all going to be fine. And then another day you'd just be completely overwhelmed by the idea that he's going to be, you know, non-verbal and, you know, severely disabled. You know, it's a really tough process to go through to accept that, okay, this is what I've got and it's okay. Martin and I often say, well, we couldn't love Claude anymore if he was normal. I mean, it would be nicer and easier and all the rest of it, but we wouldn't love him anymore, and we don't love him any less because he's the way he is. But it just takes quite a lot of time to get to the acceptance that, yep, it's, you know, that's Claude, you know, that's fine.
Ros Hill has spent her working life studying the mysteries of the mind. She's a neurologist, a doctor, and a specialist in disorders of the brain.
Claude, come here, please.
But when it comes to her own son, the mystery remains.
He's found some shorts. Martin, he's got some shorts. He just found some undies. There you go. Claude, undies on, please. And I can remember when Claude was first diagnosed thinking, I'm not that person, you know, I'm the person on the other side of the desk. You know, I'm the doctor telling the family that you've got this problem. You know, I never saw myself as the person on the other side of the desk. You know, it just didn't seem, and I was like, I can't do this. And feeling overwhelmed by it. But you actually have no choice, pretty much. You have to actually still get up and, you know, do all the banal and drudgery things you do every day, and you don't have any choice.
Claude, sit on the couch, please. Claude, sit down. Uh-oh.
He mostly is on the move.
I'll put my bag away. I'll get my phone.
When he gets very tired, he will sit on the couch for a little while. He likes to twirl, and if he can't find something handy like a scarf or a belt, he'll just get a long piece of toilet paper. He mostly likes being where people aren't. If people come over to visit, he'll usually absent himself and he'll be wandering around the garden.
He's just endlessly roaming around, and anything that has changed from the last time he was in that spot, he will pick up and walk off with it and examine it and eventually lose interest in it and just toss it. Now, it seems as though throwing things into water is endlessly fun. So your cell phones, your electronic keys, your remote controls...
It's the first place you look if you can't find anything, especially if it's a smallish thing, go and have a look in the pool.
Claude appeared to develop just like any other baby, until the age of 2. Then he began to regress, losing language and becoming fixated on things like watching a cartoon program over and over. As a neurologist, Ros was keenly aware of what that might mean.
There are some core features that you see in autism. And the first is to do with social and communication and interaction, okay? And the second one is to do with stereotyped behaviours.
Bring your belt.
So for Claude, the stereotype thing is twirling things. They can be visual things as well.
Come inside.
Twirling the wheels of the car rather than pretending to drive along the road. And then you can have that with or without intellectual impairment. So you can have normal or above average intellect, but have those social and communication difficulties and that need for rigidity and sameness in those stereotype things.
Claude, come Come sit down, please.
So you can see Claude has the full house, that he's got the intellectual impairment and he's got almost no language. And he's got the stereotyped behaviours and the almost no real sort of social interaction, communication. So that places him at the severe end of the scale. This is the sort of noise he makes a lot of the time. And I'm not sure whether he does it because it blocks out a lot of the environmental noise and it's kind of predictable. You know, it's his own sound. Yeah, no, he seems quite happy. So this is one of his kind of perfectly happy noises. He has a variety of clicks and other sounds he does. Claude? But yeah, no, this is normal for Claude.
So,
Squeeze.
This is a sensory thing that and it's well documented that a lot of people with autism spectrum disorders like firm pressure, so just like to be squeezed and squashed, and it must be something sensory that they feel more comfortable with it. What is it, Claudice? Just squeeze. The only way to get him to talk is for him to really want something enough. So the only way he'll get it is if he says something, because he doesn't use words very much at all, even words he's got. So if you can find something that he really likes and then make him use a word to get it, like squeeze, then or something he wants to eat, it sort of forces him to use some language and try and understand otherwise I don't think he really understands what the point of language is.
Hi, Annie. How's school?
Good. Hey, Ma. Oh, hi, Annie. How's school? Good. Good. You seen Claude? Can you just check on him for me, please? Sure. Hi, Miss C. Claude, hello. Hi. Hi. Hi.
older sister Annabelle is one of the few people Claude responds to.
Good boy. Hey, let's eat together.
Too much noise, too much touch gives him sensory overload. But with Annabelle, he is content.
Good boy.
He doesn't really live in the same world we live in the sense that he more lives in his head. We tend to think of it like we're kind of tools. So he uses us to get what he needs. Whether he knows who we are or whatever, I'm not sure. I'd like to think so. He's definitely more comfortable around us than he is around some other people. Yeah, but we're not really sure what goes on in that bit of his. Yeah.
So Claude would have room to roam, the family moved to a farmlet in North Auckland. They've tried every avenue to help Claude. Hundreds of hours of therapy, expert advice and medicines.
We feel as if we've done everything we can do along the way to try and help him and try and understand what's going on.
Every therapy, every diet, every supplement, every drug, it's all been tried.
We've done, as much as we could, which is what you want to feel, that in the long run we've tried everything we could and that was safe and that we were comfortable with. And so now we've done a lot over the years with him, but and it's hard to know how he would have been if we hadn't done all that.
Hi, Claudice. playing with the yellow. Play. Bing, bing, bing. Tommy. Tommy playing. Good boy. Again. Do it again. Good boy.
For every parent with an autistic child, the big question is why?
There are a lot of things that fall into autism spectrum disorders. It's a very complicated thing, and you know, you try and figure out, can you find what is the underlying problem for Claude? And so, you know, you do all the tests you can, but no, he's a mystery. And, you know, the brain is, as it develops, is completely mysterious, because he seemed to be on this trajectory of improving, and then things changed and he lost a lot of language and skills he had. Or trying to understand what's going on in the brain with that is really difficult.
Unlocking the causes of autism. It's the focus of at least a dozen studies worldwide. So when Ros Hill got talking with a geneticist friend, they decided it was an opportunity for a leading university like Auckland to contribute.
Which subjects would like to choose from the study?
Minds for Minds is a study that brings together scientists and the autism community with a common goal: finding the genetic causes of autism.
Okay, team, just a reminder that whatever information we send out include this Minds for Minds logo.
Our dream is that we'll be able to focus down on the same group of families that are affected and bring to our understanding of those families different aspects. So genetics is one aspect, the microbiology is another aspect, their psychological diagnosis is another aspect, and we're inviting anybody who has an interest in the research of autism to join Minds for Minds.
We're a part of a world effort to try and sort this out. We'd like to be the best and the first, you know, to make some major discoveries. It's exciting, but it's a completely different thing when you have the passion of, this is dealing with the condition that my child has.
It's really important for us to have controls, as it were, so someone who's on the autism spectrum, family members who are unaffected, and also members of families with no history of autism as well.
Well, you go back to what we started with, which is families with more than one affected child, and then there are some families with more than one affected, you could say more than one affected child, and one of them is a girl.
Autism is much rarer in girls. 4 out of 5 on the spectrum are male. Jessica is on the severe end of the spectrum, and her 2 brothers also have autism.
Because of our children, it can be a bit of a...
daunting experience.
Yeah, especially when you first meet someone. You kind of tell them we have our kids and what's wrong with them, and they kind of go, oh, okay, and yeah, and you know, and when if anyone comes to the house and they don't know how to act or react when they see Jessica Lee mainly playing up. Settle down, Jess. Come on. Hey. Come and make your bed. Come on. Get off. Get off. Come on. Off. Go make your bed.
She usually tries to She usually tries to get the door open. Tries to She usually tries to attack us when she gets too cross. She usually pushes us away or just comes to us.
Because if we don't lock the front door, she just gets out. We have had her get out in the early hours of the morning, go to the next door neighbours, and the neighbours come knocking on our door at 7 o'clock, have you missed somebody?
Mm.
You can't reason with Jessica. Jessica always tries to get what she wants. Jessica, toilet time, then car.
At 8, Jessica is non-verbal and still in nappies.
Good girl. Come on. Yeah, you need to go to the
Her
toilet.
parents are following a behavioural program of visuals and rewards,
Let's go.
with little success so far.
No. Come on. We're going to the toilet. Toilet, that way. Yes, come on. You want to go out? No. Yes, you do. Come on. Come on, toilet. No. Come on. Come on. Just go sit on the toilet. Come on, Jessie, sit on the toilet.
Toilet, then out it.
Come on, Jessica Lee.
You don't have many friends and you don't have many people to come and say hello, how are you?
Sometimes it's hard because people don't want to get to know you. Why we don't sometimes invite people around a lot, because we kind of get embarrassed because the walls are just stripped, where Jessica Lee's ripped all the paper off the wall. It's overwhelming sometimes, yeah, it does get to you. It puts a strain on our relationship as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
Mm.
A 1,000 families have put themselves forward for the study. Their DNA is collected, ready to be sequenced in the US. What they're looking for are differences or mutations in the DNA of people with autism.
There's no doubt, because there have been a lot of studies looking at the incidence and prevalence of autism, and it has definitely gone up significantly. There is a very strong inherited component. If you have one child in the family, you have a 10 to 20% chance that the next child will also have autism.
I've just loaded the gel. I'm going to let that run for about an hour and then I'll image it.
High molecular weight DNA and...
Yeah.
People have been looking, but of all the genes that have been found so far, none of them account for more than 1% of people with autism. So they're chipping away at the edges and finding genes, but there's still a huge amount we don't know.
We were astounded, and we remain astounded, that hundreds of genes can cause autism. And you think, goodness gracious, how can variations in any number of hundreds of genes end up with autism? And quite frankly, we don't understand that. That's one of the big puzzles.
Going to go for it. We're going to go driving. Driving? Yes. Bother with shoes, do you think, Ross?
Yeah. Did you see I found them?
Yeah. Are they down the garden?
Yeah, out by the spa pool.
Hey, Claudia's been fighting.
Raising Claude has changed everything about Roz and Martin's lives.
Your whole world is different when you have a child with autism. You're on a different road to most other people.
What is in Daddy's car?
Your life is not going to be the same as the average family. You're not the same as you were before. Changes your perspective on so many things. The things that you previously worried about are unimportant. And that's a gift, because, you know, you just figure out what is important and what isn't.
While Roz has involved herself in the Minds for Minds study, Martin has changed his own pathway. A company director and a senior executive, he's held top jobs like CEO of iHug. 2 months ago, he took up the reins of Elevator, an agency that assists people with disabilities to find jobs. On this Saturday morning, it's a working bee at the elevator workshops and a chance to involve Claude.
That's as close as you get.
Morning. You come to help.
You come to help. Oh, he's a big help, I tell you. So I thought it'd be nice to bring him out and introduce him and to show him where I work. I don't know how much he takes in, but you know, he's happy and wandering around. The big thing is that Claude is somewhat ADD, as you'll see. He never sits for very long. So he is wandering around and wants to touch, bang and feel everything. So health and safety is the big issue. Okay, I think we'll just leave there. I know that's exactly what you'd like to be doing. Yeah, it might be a bit noisy around here for you, mate. Too noisy?
Oh, see. He's going to find you see everybody holding it.
Well, going anywhere. If you go to the supermarket, you need somebody to do the shopping and somebody to keep an eye on Claude. In 1 minute he's beside you, the next minute he's gone. And literally you can't find him. And you've got an all-points bulletin out for half an hour or an hour and find him tucked up in a corner. The biggest operator. Or he'll just go along and touch things on the shelf and suddenly they're all on the floor. He's not trying to break them, he's just feeling them and sensing them and likes to bang them to make a noise or whatnot.
Just away and over in the back.
I've never seen a PJ tree quite like that.
Claude. Claude, want to pick up some kids? Okay. Want to do some work? Yeah. Okay, it's very cute. Now you got to be Claude. Pick up some PJs, please. This way.
Okay, I think we're just about...
That's great, Brett. Can we have a look at your gel pictures in your lab book?
Some of the work being investigated here has a ring of science fiction. Microbiologist Mike Taylor is looking at the connection between our gut and the brain. Could changes in the chemistry of our gut be a factor contributing to autism?
All of us have huge amounts of bacteria in our guts, up to about 1 or 2 kilograms per person, actually, so massive numbers of these things, and they have very large effects on human health. And just in the last few years, it's become very apparent that these gut bacteria are involved in a sort of a communication with the brain and have a role to play in a number of neurological conditions, including autism.
There's a huge amount going on in terms of understanding the actual what is wrong with the hardware and the software in an autistic brain, and the list is very long of the things that are not right. So people are really trying to tease that all apart.
The ultimate kind of dream outcome would be some sort of microbial therapy for autism. So perhaps there's a particular type of bacteria, more bacterial product, some chemical perhaps that the bacteria produce that we could add, give to someone as a probiotic or in a milkshake or yogurt or whatever, and that might alter their bacterial community in a way that sort of improves some of the symptoms of autism.
We'll start the meeting next Friday for patient selection.
See you guys.
See you, Ron.
The whole thing at once.
The main thing is that he's actually most of the time really happy. And I mean that's the joy and what makes, you know, Claude lovely to have around most of the time is he's happy.
Where did the stalk go, Claudice?
You just dropped it on the floor. Just ate the top and posted the stalk down.
Days.
I think he's had enough.
The science may not change the lives of Claude and Jessica today, but the possibility of greater understanding is enough.
what it's done is prompt our family to get heavily involved, because it has the potential to help other people in the future to at least understand the causes of autism.
It's not going to make probably any difference to Claude, but it's the feeling as if it's worthwhile having been on this road with Claude rather than just getting through life. But if you could actually say, because of Claude and that, you know, the condition he has, I can apply the however many years I won't list of study that I've done into doing something, you know, useful in the big picture.